sales leader, Kristen Clopping.
I hope everybody's had an amazing weekend of networking and learning, and perhaps I had a little too much fun at the lazy river and lost my voice, so I apologize. There are so many things Norwex has to offer each and every one of us in this room, and one of those things is the gift of life-changing friendships. 4 years ago, I didn't know the person who was about to join us on stage. And today, I can't imagine not having her in my life. She offers me and everybody around her endless love, humor, support, and friendship that runs as deep as sisterhood. I could go on and on about this amazing, incredible woman, but I'm gonna let you share her story with you tonight. It is my absolute honor to introduce to you Madison Sasman, Executive Sales Leader from Nebraska.
When I signed up to become a Norwex consultant nearly 4 years ago, I did so fully intending on getting just a few cloths and dashing. I don't remember the exact words I said when I handed in my consultant sign-up sheet, but it was very close to, "Thanks, see you never, bye." So when I found myself on a plane to Dallas for leadership conference just 4 months later, having accidentally promoted to team coordinator and then sales leader, I kept the same attitude. This was just a girls' weekend. I figured Dallas in January had to be a little warmer than Lincoln in January. So I succumbed to the incessant pleas of my leaders, Kristen Clopping and Ashley Bergman, to go to some Norwex conference. What I had done in order to take a vacation from my kids ended up changing my life. Growing up, all I ever dreamed about was being a wife and a mama. And I used to practice these roles with my little sister, Becky. She always had to play my doting hussy because I was the older sister. And generously, I offered her 2 options. She could play my handsome counterpart, or she could be sat on. She chose life. When Becky passed the torch of being my dearly beloved to my actual husband, Derek, he and I were so excited to start a family. We welcomed 2 sassy redheads in the first 3 years of our marriage. Olivia was born in I know, aren't they cute? They're much bigger and sassier now. Olivia was born in 2011, and she was followed 18 months later by her little brother, Declan. 8-year-old Maddie would have been freaking jazzed, okay? All the boxes on my life to-do list were checked off. Hot husband, awesome house, beautiful kids, everything was perfect. But 25-year-old Maddie had a problem. Here I was in my mid-20s with everything I ever wanted, and I was miserable. I wanted to do something that would impact the world, and while I knew that I was doing that by raising our children, there was something inside of me that wanted more. It was this continual cycle of feeling like I was insignificant and unfulfilled, which in turn made me feel guilty. In the end, it left me in a place where I believed that I wasn't good enough, not lovable enough, a subpar mom, and definitely unworthy of having dreams and aspirations. I thought that this was just my life now, and I locked that tiny voice inside a room so that I didn't have to hear it anymore. A woman who believes that she is more of a burden to the world than a help doesn't have the capacity to believe that she can accomplish great things and change the world. It was this woman that walked into leadership conference in January of 2016. Over the course of the weekend, not only did I learn practical ideas and systems for running a successful business, fall in love with a company as I heard Debbie and our home office team speak, but I also heard story after story of overcoming doubt and adversity from women who were not so different from me. I wasn't aware of it on the surface, but those unsaid desires, that voice that I had been silencing, grew a little louder. I vividly remember sitting in a hotel room with Katie Petrick, telling her that I really love the company, but these sort of things, the people are just gonna stop booking parties because these things never last long. She turned to me and said something that I will never forget. She said, Maddie, I really think that you're limiting what God can do through your life. When the universe was created, all God had to do was speak, and then God made you in his image. Why do you think that when you say words, they don't create something in your life? Yeah, I think if you love it, then you should just go for it and believe it can. And I was like, I'm sorry, I just met you. You don't know my life, Tinkerbell. You don't know me. But those words were a linchpin in me beginning to unlearn the lies that I had been telling myself and to replace those beliefs with truth. This is truth. You are created with infinite possibility and purpose. While it is one of the highest callings and privileges of my life to love my husband and our children, I have learned that there is so much more that I was created for. The passion I have for educating families and the drive I have to help other women realize their potential was always there. But Norwex gave me a vehicle to live out those dreams. You are no different. My friend, you and I were not sent here to shrink, to fail, or to play small. We are here to make a difference. This is truth. You are worthy of the investment it takes to grow. I used to believe that if I took time for myself, like if I went to therapy or practiced self-care or took a weekend away to go to conference, that it was selfish. But pouring from an empty cup only left me bone dry. After that first conference, I made a promise that I would never miss another one. I stopped apologizing to my kids when I went to a party, and I showed them why it was important to me. And you know what? Not only am I living with way more joy, but I'm able to love and care for my family, my team, my business, and the community I'm in ways that I wasn't able to before. This is truth. You already have everything you need to be everything that you want. It's already inside of you. When an apple seed is planted, it doesn't wonder what it will become or if it's got what it takes. Its genetic code, all of its cells in that tiny seed are programmed to become an apple tree. Hear this well. You are no different. You are created with unique talents and skills and drives and dreams in order to do what you need to do to get done what you're here to do. Intentionally promote to ESL, would I have shared the Norwex opportunity with the women who are now on my team? If I didn't have the dream of being something bigger than myself, would I have been able to impact the thousands of homes that our team has turned into safe havens? The universe doesn't see you or I as just a little seed in the ground, it sees us in our full bloom. Everything about you is exactly what you need to be able to do what you were made to do. These truths, though, were not something I learned overnight. 2 weeks after I returned from that very first conference, my husband was laid off. We suddenly didn't have an income, but what I did have was Norwex. And for 6 months, guess what paid the bills? I put to use the things I had learned at conference. I did every single company and team training that was available to me, and I started putting sticky notes all over my house that said, bookings are coming to me, and success is so easy. And my husband would say them to me also and add his own sticky notes, like, you throw awesome parties, and also have a great butt. Now, to put things in perspective, my average monthly sales came in around $900 in sub-A in the first 4 months of my business before leadership. If you mirrored it with the 4 months following conference, my average rose to over $4,000 in sales per month. When Derek was hired for a new position and we no longer needed my party commissions to pay for life's necessities, we started dreaming of how we could use that money. We knew we needed to replace our Jeep, that we wanted to take a nice, long Disney vacation, and that our family was quickly outgrowing our current home. I also had some personal business goals. The Panama incentive trip was announced that August, and so, along with the goal to promote to ESL, I decided I was going to be on that trip. At that time, I was also really wanting to have another baby, but my husband was hesitant. In his defense, our older children were and continue to be borderline feral. They get it from their father. But it really was finances that stood in the way. I knew that if I could show him that I could consistently bring home $1,500 a month by leading a team and doing parties, the financial roadblock would be moved away. Just over 6 months later, in February of 2017, I took our family on a week-long Disney vacation. In March, we traded our Jeep for a Dave Ramsey-approved Corolla. In April, I officially earned my ticket to Panama. In June, we were able to purchase our dream home from a host I'd done a Norwex party for the summer before. I don't have time to get into that story, but it was nothing short of a God thing. And finally, in November of that year, 2017, we welcomed our third baby, Callum, into our family. Look at them. He took his first international flight with me to Panama at 3 months old. I look back on what Norwex has made possible for our family with so much gratitude and pride. Because all the blessings that I have because of Norwex aren't because I got lucky. They're because I have the backing of this incredible company, the most amazing family, friends, and teammates beside me, and the unwavering belief that this is what I was made for. Last year, I changed our team name to Team Bloom. It's not original, but it is significant. When I began my Norwex journey, I was in a really dark place. I didn't know it then, but I was being planted. Maybe you felt the same way, buried in the dark. But Norwex is a place where your growth doesn't have to have a limit. That dream you have, that goal you want to smash, it's yours. I see you sitting there with all of your genius already inside of you, planted in the places you're from, sharing the life-changing gift of Norwex. My friends, I will say it again. Everything you need to have everything you want is already inside of you. You have it all. Just bloom. Thank you.